Alright everyone, we start off today talking about LBRY, the SEC, cryptocurrency, and a little bit of a socialistic tyranny here with government regulators and bureaucrats. First and foremost, there will be a pinned comment if you're watching this on YouTube. One of the links is to Odyssey, which is the sub-company owned by LBRY, actually, video hosting and so forth. Now, there are 4 links in the pinned comment to other sites that I use. Keep in mind, I make 4 videos a day, but I only put 2 of them on YouTube now, because if you make more than that, YouTube demotes you even harder. So it's basically pointless to be a workhorse on YouTube as opposed to spreading the joy around. There will be 2 links in the description. The first is to help LBRYSaveCrypto.com. That's LBRY LBRY. There's a petition there. You can read sort of in brief. But there's also a tweet by Jeremy Kaufman who runs LBRY. And I'm going to read it verbatim. Because he can probably explain the situation better than me. And in a nutshell, TLDR here. In a nutshell, the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, is attacking LBRY, dragging them through a civil suit to the tune of huge legal fees, of course. The federal government is fond of doing things like this, persecuting people, and is essentially trying to label cryptocurrency as a security. Now, of course, crypto is already treated both as a tangible asset and a currency for different regulatory purposes. The government basically now appears to want it to be 3 different things in 3 different scenarios for the purposes of taxing, regulating, banning, and controlling cryptocurrency. And as he explains here, and again I'll read it verbatim in a moment, essentially would destroy cryptocurrency. This is what I was afraid of, was that the government won't ban crypto existing, per se. It'll just make it so obtuse and difficult to use that eventually there'll be a national crypto, and most people will have to basically exchange their private crypto for the government one. Basically, the government will be renationalizing currency. It'll be a digital dollar, so to speak. I'm going to read this verbatim. I finally get to share something I've been waiting 3 years to talk about. Since May of 2018, my company has been under investigation by the federal government. I wanted to talk about it as soon as it happened, but my counsel strenuously emphasized that the SEC hates it when companies go public. Now that it's public, I finally get to talk about it. The law in this area is complicated and unclear, so before we get to the legal specifics, some important details. I'm not facing any criminal charges, nor is anyone at my company. It's a civil action. There is no victim. Of more than 20 million LBRY users, not a single one has requested the government take action. The protocol is not at risk or in danger of being shut down. It probably can't be. Nor is anyone's content channels, crypto, etc. at risk. Good to know because, I got like a flash drive actually with a significant amount of LBC on it, which has a variable value, of course. It goes up and down. I'm bullish, of course, on crypto in general in the long term, so something I'm holding on to. The law in this case is complicated and unclear. The federal government is attempting to apply a law written nearly 100 years ago, this is common for the government, to a cutting-edge technology. LBRY has been advised by Perkins Coie since the investigation started and has followed their advice. For a more detailed analysis, see help LBRYSaveCrypto.com/FAQ. The full complaint is linked there. If LBRY loses the case, it will be disastrous for the cryptocurrency industry. So everyone needs to inform the geek in your life, the person who's got the crypto, mines the crypto, knows about crypto, analyzes crypto. They should probably all be talking about this. There should probably be like a fucking Gizmodo write-up and shit about this. Just saying. Under the standard advanced here, virtually every cryptocurrency would be a security. Opening it up to more regulation, of course. Who could have seen this one coming? Every transaction or exchange, no matter how small, would require recording documentation, and only people with special expensive licenses would be allowed to facilitate exchanges. No more Coinbase, no more Exodus Wallet or any of these fun things. Basically, it would be the government nationalizing cryptocurrency. There'd be a few holdouts. They would quickly get swept up by large corporations, and then crypto would become fundamentally useless. Normies would like it, but for the purposes that actually make it truly great, it wouldn't be a thing anymore. If you felt that I've become more vehement about liberty over the past several years, this could certainly play a role. It is psychologically unpleasant to have every email and chat message read by strangers. Note, just my work chat and work email. It feels tremendously wasteful to spend more than $1 million and thousands of hours of effort to comply with bureaucrats that do not have the slightest understanding of the technology they are regulating. This is a constant problem in government. people creating the regulations, or Congress, the legislations, often don't have any finesse in the subjects that they're actually talking about. Like, if you look at Congress, if they're doing anything related to medicine, there's like 2 people with a medical background in all of Congress. I think Rand Paul and can't remember the other one. Most of them were career lawyers, business people, or they're career politicians. Like, all they've been, like Bernie Sanders, the only thing that he's known for is being in office since the 1970s. He's never done anything else. He taught for a couple of years. He did carpentry, got fired, he got fucking kicked out of his hippie commune because he was a lazy asshole. That's all he's done. Some bureaucrat story asides. Interesting. We've spent several hours attempting to get a Harvard-educated securities regulator to understand that in a market in which a good is freely traded, it is impossible to fix the price. He literally brought it up again in a call the other day. Why can't you just make all credits be worth 10 cents? I could probably answer that too, but you know, when you're overeducated, but your education has nothing to do with technology and has to do with probably finance or something, it'd be a problem. The regulators continued to assert that LBRY was not a finished technology. I asked them if they could name a single online technology they use that does not continue to undergo improvements. They could not. Nonetheless, the fact that LBRY was not finished will be a key part of their complaint, and is why all cryptocurrency is at risk. This is an important thing. Keep in mind that decisions in cases, federal, state, whatever, create a legal precedent. People should be fucking looking at this and fucking freaking out if they hold crypto. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they'll define the idea too obtuse. It'll require a write-up by the legacy media to get people mobilized, so you need to raise alarm immediately. The regulators asked for every version of the LBRY.com website. We told them it was all available publicly online via GitHub. They didn't understand this and again asked for every version. We told them that every distinct version change resulted in more than 4,000 different versions of the website. They asked for regular snapshots. We explained how to access these, but ended up having to print out copies of the website at regular intervals throughout history and mail them. Beginning to sound sort of like the IRS in their obtuse ways as well. We call them bureaucrats, but they behave like the mafia. That one's not a surprise. To be clear, this is government related. The SEC refuses to put things into writing and regularly threatened us with busy work and to run up costs because we refuse to concede that all cryptocurrencies are securities. Keep in mind, the federal government has limitless time and limitless resources, and one of their main legal strategies when they're persecuting someone is to drag them through court long enough for the person to go bankrupt. Essentially, destroy them, force a settlement, force them to admit to wrongdoing and throw up their hands in penance and cry and beg for mercy. That's essentially the main thing that the federal government does. If they come for you, that's basically what they tend to do. Keep in mind, you have a couple great attorneys, they got like a couple thousand great attorneys per bureau probably. I have a lot more stories like this. The good news is we're represented by counsel that is extremely competent. Both of our trial attorneys were former regulators themselves, revolving door, woo, and one of them helped put the Wolf of Wall Street away. Pretty impressive, yeah? They say our facts are better than any blockchain company they've examined. I hope that that's true, but again, we need to be the backup. And of course, I use Odyssey, LBRY, the parent company. There's like fucking 37,000 people watching my shit there, I think, now. So yeah, I've got a little bit of a personal stake in that, I'd say. So I'm trying to help out here. Additionally, while this is a federal trial, it will take place in New Hampshire, which means my family won't be too disrupted. By the way, in New Hampshire, you can talk about jury nullification. I don't think you can do that in any other state officially. It will also make it easier for friends in New Hampshire to show support. For now, the best thing you can do is share this post or share help.lbrysavecrypto.com. There's also a petition you can sign on the site. Now, signing the petition is good, although petitions tend not to do anything. So that's first. We'll get that out of the way. I think the best thing you can do, you can contact the SEC. Now, 10 weeks later, they might email you a response. If you do that, by the way, please do be respectful. You get more, there's an old Vermont saying, you get more flies with a teaspoon of sugar than a gallon of vinegar. That definitely applies to things like this. I think the biggest thing, though, right now that people can do, probably, unless they're going to do like a fucking GoFundMe or something, is just spread awareness, because otherwise a lot of people won't know that this is going on. Alt tech has gotten a reputation as being basically a Nazi hangout. If people were aware that that's not the case, and aware, I think, how intrinsically intertwined with cryptocurrency, which millions of people are getting into, and it's big in the news, and normies are starting to filter in, and people are speculating and shit, if they knew that the SEC was moving to essentially exterminate that aspect of their wealth, and take a novel technology that will never be finished, let's face it, and federalize it or wipe it out entirely, a lot of people would be up in arms. I think that all of the tech people, even on like left-wing tech sites, they would look at this if they understood the concept of legal precedent and how the SEC could essentially, again, denigrate the usefulness of crypto. Even they, I think, would have a problem with it. So I would ask that you spread word, talk to the tech creator in your life, so to speak. There are many of them, not just on all tech, plenty of YouTubers and fucking crypto channels and stuff. Spread word to the people that actually talk repeatedly about crypto. They're going to have the most vehement potential response. Some of these people have audiences in the 6 and 7-figure range. You have people that are involved with alt media, journalism and so forth. And Tim Pool, I don't know if he's covered this. He should probably be aware that this is a thing. This could be extremely disruptive. And also, it's a weaponization of another federal bureau to go after independent content creation, and in this case, a small company. Yet another attempt to kill jobs by the Biden administration. Now, some people say, well, it started in 2018, he said. That's under Trump. Yes. Trump wasn't even aware of how many soldiers there were in Syria, despite being the commander-in-chief. Do you think he got regular reports from the SEC on what they were doing to small tech upstarts? Doubtful. So, yeah, I stand with Odyssey/LBRY. Very glad to have a presence there. And, yeah, you can read these things for yourself and spread word. That's about all. Peace out.